The SS Resolute glided through the quiet expanse of the Kepler Fringe, its dim lights flickering against the void. It was a workhorse of a vessel, built for durability, not speed or combat. To any observer, it looked like easy prey, a slow-moving cargo ship burdened with crates of mundane supplies. Inside, Captain Mara Dalton leaned over a control panel, her sharp eyes scanning the monitors. Years in deep space had taught her one thing: complacency was a death sentence. A red blip appeared on the screen. "Unidentified vessel closing fast," announced Lynn, the communications officer. Her voice was calm, but tension rippled beneath the surface. Mara frowned, her fingers tapping the console. The Kepler Fringe was notorious for pirate activity, and their ship, while equipped for light skirmishes, wasn't meant to fend off a full-scale assault. "Get me a visual," Mara ordered. Lynn patched the feed, and the image of a sleek, jagged ship filled the screen. The markings were unmistakable: Korthak, a race of reptilian predators known for their ruthlessness and disdain for what they called soft species. The pirate ship bristled with weaponry, its dark hull designed to intimidate. The calm channel crackled to life, and a guttural voice filled the bridge. "This is Korthak of the Raven's Maw. You will power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we will scatter your remains across the stars." The voice carried an air of smug certainty, as if the outcome was already decided. Mara straightened, her expression hardening. "Lynn, open a channel." When the connection stabilized, she replied evenly, "This is Captain Mara Dalton of the SS Resolute. We're an unarmed cargo ship carrying medical supplies. There's no need for violence." Korthak's laughter was a harsh, guttural bark. "Humans always beg. It's pathetic. Power down your engines, or we will open fire." Mara muted the channel and turned to her crew. "They think we're weak. Let's show them how wrong they are." Her voice was steady, her confidence infectious. Around her, the crew sprang into action. Jax, the ship's engineer, was already accessing the hidden defense systems. While the Resolute appeared defenseless, it carried a few surprises, a legacy of Mara's insistence on being prepared for the worst. "The magnetic traps are online," Jax reported. "If they board, they won't be walking out." Mara nodded. "Good. Lynn, keep feeding them the helpless act. We need them overconfident." The pirate ship loomed closer, its weapons trained on the Resolute. Korthak hailed them again, impatient this time. "We're boarding now. Do not resist, or we will incinerate your vessel." Mara gave the signal. The ship's systems powered down, lights dimming to a faint glow. To the pirates, it was a clear sign of surrender. Inside, however, the crew moved like clockwork, setting traps, preparing ambushes, and sealing off key sections of the ship. As the pirate boarding pods latched onto the hull, Mara allowed herself a small, grim smile. The Korthak thought they were walking into an easy victory. They had no idea what awaited them. Korthak's claws tightened around his communicator as he barked orders to his remaining crew. The chaos had thrown his well-honed predatory instincts into disarray, but he refused to accept defeat. "Secure the engine room. Find the human captain." His voice boomed through the halls, but static crackled in response. Human interference was scrambling their communications. Meanwhile, Mara watched the pirates' movements on her tactical display, each glowing red, representing an enemy steadily converging toward the bridge. "They're getting desperate," she muttered. "Jax, how are the drones holding up?" "3 are down, but the last 2 are still harassing them," Jax replied, his hands moving quickly over a console. On another screen, small, spider-like drones scuttled through the ship, cutting power to sections and disorienting the invaders with sudden flashes of light or bursts of sound. Every step the pirates took was into another carefully laid snare. The turning point came when Korthak and his squad reached the engineering bay. He could feel the tide shifting, the weight of his crew's losses dragging on his shoulders. Determined to seize control, he tore through a security door with brute strength, his claws carving into the metal. Inside, the hum of the ship's reactor filled the air, and a single figure stood waiting. Jax, armed with nothing but a welding tool and a defiant grin. Korthak sneered, stepping forward with his weapon raised. "You think one human can stop me?" "Not one," Jax replied. "But we don't fight alone." At that moment, a deafening clang sounded as the overhead crane dropped a payload of heavy scrap, forcing Korthak to leap back. Jax darted into the shadows, using the tight, cluttered space to his advantage. Each time Korthak thought he had him cornered, Jax struck with precision, a sudden burst of steam, a shower of sparks from an overloaded panel, or a precisely aimed tool to disable one of Korthak's gadgets. Despite his mounting injuries, Korthak pushed forward, his frustration boiling over. His crew reported more losses, their retreat cut off entirely as Mara's traps sealed off escape routes. "Enough of these games," Korthak roared. With a swing of his clawed arm, he smashed through the last barrier to the bridge, determined to face the human captain directly. Mara stood in the center of the bridge, calm and collected. Her hands rested on the console, where she had orchestrated every move of this battle. "You've already lost, Korthak," she said coolly, meeting his glare. "You think this is over?" he snarled, advancing. "I'll tear this ship apart with my bare hands, if I have to." Mara's fingers danced over the console, and the bridge lights dimmed. "You're strong, but brute force doesn't win wars. Strategy does." The hum of the ship's systems grew louder, and Korthak felt the floor vibrate beneath his feet. Mara had activated a final failsafe, an electromagnetic pulse that knocked out every piece of pirate tech still functioning. Korthak staggered as his armor powered down, leaving him exposed. Before he could recover, the remaining crew converged, weapons raised, forcing him to surrender. For the first time, the Predator found himself truly hunted.